Welcome to Perspective. As we get closer to the day of the elections, February 8th, we'll be talking about Bilawal Bhutto's confrontationary style of politics versus perhaps a more cautionary one when we look at Shehbaz Sharif Saab, when he says that as far as Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is concerned, whatever mandate comes through, they will accept it. And as far as politics is concerned, praising him as a good minister during the PDM government. We'll be talking about the manifestos as given by both political parties. We don't have a formal one from the PMLN yet, but it seems that there is a clear decision as to which direction both parties are choosing to go. As far as Bilawal Bhutto is concerned, he's talking about development, he's talking about more jobs, he's talking about, but it's unclear how he plans on bringing those changes, whether those are really needed for the kind of politicking that invariably happens before the elections. But of course, a real plan is something that the voters would ideally be looking for. We'll be talking about all of this as, of course, the campaigns continue to pick up. We're looking at more jalsas, we are looking at more campaigning, more rallies across the board, and of course, the concentration as far as Punjab is concerned. And what we can expect from both major political parties as far as PTI is concerned. Of course, we are looking at perhaps social media campaigning rather than more on the ground one. And of course, we'll be talking about whether that can have the kind of results that any party ideally wants, and of course the day of the elections, the importance of that, and also a little bit about the role that this election invariably will involve independent candidates, how much of them, and to what end they can work towards forming government as we get to that stage, of course. All of that today on Perspective. I have with me today Naveed Aman, who's a political analyst. Thank you for being with us today. A little later on, Naveed Saab, like we were earlier also talking about, as far as the PPP is concerned and Bilawal Bhutto is concerned, of course, there's a clear manifesto there in the field. But there isn't really any, we don't know how he plans to bring about those changes. And of course, in the current climate, as far as our economy is concerned, as far as the overall position is concerned, it's unclear. How is he going to bring those changes?
In fact, politicians always make lofty claims and they give a very gloomy picture to the masses. They give very colorful picture to the masses, but when the time comes, they could not in past they could not fulfill their promises, and those unmatched promises really bounced back. In the case of Nawaz Sharif, in his last comment, when he made that lofty claim that he will open that case against a former dictator, and when he will come to power, he will bring him to the court of justice. When he came in power, he had to bring him court of justice, and that really bounced back. So, in PTI comment, lastly, the former chairman PTI, he made very, very big claims of providing, more than 5 million jobs or houses and 10 million jobs or many other things. And out of all those claims, he could not even materialize any one. This time, Bilawal is making those sort of lofty claims once again. But I don't think he will be in the position, if he comes in the power, he will be in the position to bring.
Naveed Saab, you think that's going to happen? You think that undecided voter, it's going to matter what a politician like Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is saying to the undecided voter, or no?
It will. But what Bilawal in fact desires, he wants to gain that lost popularity of vote bank, which was once the asset of People's Party in Punjab. Now, those electables or the heavyweights who left People's Party and joined PTI in the last regime, they afterwards, before this election, the same electables left PTI and they did not go back to People's Party. Also, they joined two other parties, IPP and People's PTI parliamentarians. Bilawal is struggling for the re-emergence of the People's Party in Punjab. For that purpose, he is struggling hard to make that momentum of electoral process, which we could not see till the 2 weeks are away from the elections, and still the momentum is not on that level, which is the ritual of politics of Pakistan.
But is it we don't have a formal manifesto from the PMLN yet, Naveed Saab, but as I understand, probably on the 27th they're saying they will be unveiling it. But as compared to what Maryam Nawaz is saying when she is addressing jalsas, because we all saw, we've seen the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif Saab only address one, but her rhetoric is also it's quite what she's saying is quite clear. She's saying that look at our past performance, look at what we did, and what the former Prime Minister led governments have done for Pakistan, and based on that performance judge us for what we can do for you. So in that sense, it's very clear, what the PMLN's manifesto is going to be. As far as this manifesto of PPP is concerned, do you think that we also look back at, the tall claims that came from, the earlier government led by PTI, when so many jobs had to be created, so much had to be done, and that didn't translate. So we need, of course, there to be a concrete plan for the people of Pakistan that they feel can probably be followed and will be followed by the next
Absolutely
government.
Right. Baruch, People's Party leader Bilawal Bhutto is in Punjab now. He is focusing Punjab very much. Yes, if he is focusing and he is demanding for votes from the masses, he will have to prove what he has or his party has delivered in Sindh province. If you compare Ladkana as their main station, or Ladkana is like Lahore for the PMLN. PMLN has made Lahore Ladkana, or Ladkana could be made Lahore. I mean, Ladkana itself speaks a lot
for what?
For many reasons. The development of Lahore is different, or the development of Nawab Shah and Ladkana is different.
As far as when we look at the voter at this time, there are main political parties. If we look at the PMLN, the PPP, they're talking about development, they're talking about what they will do. There's also a segment of the population as far as a third party is concerned. There's a lot of polarization. And they're focusing on change as far as change of the status quo is concerned. Naveed Saab, how do you look at that? Is that going to resonate with the voter at all?
It was very good opportunity for PTI to become an alternative political party and emerge itself as a big political force during 2018 to this time. But that chance and that opportunity was lost, and the PTI chairman, former PTI chairman or the founder, he could not materialize that chance. And he could have delivered in a positive way, in a constructive way, in a better way, better than the PMLN, better than the People's Party.
And also there's a part of, there's a voter who's going to be looking at, what they've done in the past. That's also very,
Definitely, the voter, focuses on the deliverance of the political party, what PTI has delivered, what PMLN has delivered, and what People's Party has delivered. So, keeping that in mind, the leaders, they can deceive, but the voter cannot be deceived. If you just beat about the bush, I mean, you can just find that opportunity, but the voter knows everything. The voter knows what is the health conditions in Punjab and in Sindh, in KP and in Balochistan, what are the education conditions, status, what is the poverty level, what is the law and order situation. The entire responsibility lies with the shoulders of the politicians, because the politicians are the leaders and they lead the masses. And when the leaders...
I agree with you for just 50%. 50% burden we can give to the politicians. Rest of the 50% are on the conditions, on the circumstances, international phenomena, and so many other things. If the politicians are solely responsible for what we are facing today, what happened when Nawaz Sharif was delivering in this country in 2017? The whole state, all elements of the segments of the state, they were used. The media was used. Everybody was used by the then establishment and brought in a politician and the and the power, I couldn't understand so far that what was the justification for them. What he has delivered.
One thing is, I think, very important, and that is the vision of the politicians. Politicians are supposed to be very visionary. All the politicians. We don't name any politician.
Right,
all the politicians.
I want to also move on and let me go to Danial on this. Danial, there's also, we're talking about the main political parties also, but IPP also, as far as Punjab is concerned, it's a very, very real factor at this time. There is some informal seat adjustment. There is, news about it, but there's no formal seat adjustment as far as IPP is concerned. Of course, then again, the role of the independents with regard to which party they join. IPP is also in the field. There are some electables there. We expect them to get certain seats. How are you looking at that phenomenon?
And before we even come to that, there's another factor, another party that you did not mention, which is TLP. And I personally think that this time in Punjab, as far as the undecided voter is concerned, see, the voter of PTI, they're basically fanatics. So, it's very difficult for
modern fanatics.
Exactly. It's very difficult for a fanatic to make a rational decision. So it's very much likely they might tilt towards Saad Rizvi, especially
fanatics of Islamic touch.
Islamic touch, it's all over the place now. So even PTI used that as a slogan once, So I personally think that they're definitely going to tap into this open vote bank, or what we think is an open vote bank.
Definitely they will play.
So you think there's going to be a lot of division as far as the seats are concerned? It's going to be a tri-party, two-party kind of situation?
Well, as far as central Punjab is concerned, I personally think that PMLN is going to sweep. And as far as the rest of the country is concerned, yes, there are certain pockets, like Abai Saab said earlier about South Punjab. South Punjab is less about People's Party and it's more about, if you look at the cabinet, the last federal cabinet that they had, People's Party, the Prime Minister was from South Punjab, their Foreign Minister was from South Punjab, there are a few other ministers were from South Punjab. So People's Party is always, unfortunately.
But do you think they've been able to make those kind of inroads in the South this time?
They did, in the sense that...
I mean, we saw Jalsa by Bilawal Bhutto Zardari just a few days ago.
In Bahawalpur, yes.
See, unfortunately, after the demise...
In Liaqatpur, I think, yes.
After the Shahadat of Benazir, People's Party has focused on pure power politics. So, because of that, giving employment, giving jobs, other development work, people focused. They did a lot of that, so because of that, I believe they will be able to gather a few seats from South Punjab.
Daniel sir, all the political parties and the political leaders, they are in the political arena for the power game. So power politics is for everybody. They are not for the service of the masses. They are for themselves and their political agendas. So if PTI is in the arena, they are also for the political power. And even then, the PTI chairman or former chairman is in jail, but he is still struggling for his political gain, that which he could not.
Aman sir, it's very interesting you said this, because the biggest criticism that PMLN has always faced is that they never focused on their politicians. Their governors always relied on bureaucracy.
Daniel sir,
yes.
Every politician worked for that, but this is a different thing, that one politician can translate the political agenda in a better way, and that is Nawaz Sharif. Yes, he has delivered, or he has translated his agenda.
But that is true that they perhaps rely more on bureaucracy than other.
Well, this is the biggest criticism, and it's to some extent I believe it's true. And coming back to the Nawaz Sharif's issue, will he be able to deliver or not? In this arena, I think he is the most experienced person when it comes to governing Pakistan.
But if you look at what Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is saying, he's saying that choose me because I am not.
No. It is election. No matter what is behind the bar. I mean,
yes, but I'm saying election. The politicking, whether you call it politicking, whether you call it campaigning, whatever, his political rhetoric is centered on the fact that I am new, I am relatively new, and I'm not a third time elect or a fourth time elect. So therefore, he's using this very card to his own benefit.
It's very interesting when you say this. And before we were discussing how Shahbaz is appreciating him as his foreign minister.
Yes.
So I believe this is his political tactics to counter. After this, his words mean nothing. He was part of the government, and he was in a very important position. His party was holding a few of the very important ministries.
And when we talk about charisma, that Abid Saab also mentioned, I think overall, when we look at, as far as Maryam Nawaz herself is concerned, she is herself a very real phenomena, in the political scene at this time. When we talk about her appeal to the masses and her addresses, and she has also done it for a while now in the absence of her father. So I think that's going to be something when we talk about Bilawal Bhutto Zardari or the young leadership, so to speak. I think that's going to be interesting to watch, as somebody of her caliber or her politics versus what Bilawal Bhutto is saying.
True. These young people are attracting the attention of the people in Punjab. But so to speak, I cannot give a guess the way Danial Sahib is saying that the PMLN will clean sweep in central Punjab or in the northern Punjab, and in southern Punjab PP could be able to muster the few seats. What I believe that PMLN is facing a very tough contest from their rival in Punjab, and there is PTI. One thing. Second thing,
even after this, now that independent
I don't
phenomena.
agree, because
this is your opinion. You may have your opinion.
But I will let Navneet Sahib answer. You continue.
PTI, some of the people of PTI, they are giving tough contest. For instance, if I can name Yasmin Rashid in Lahore, though they couldn't launch their campaign, this is again a question mark that those people, either they were involved in that 9th May debacle, I would say, or not, but they are having support of the people in northern Punjab. This is a fact. Secondly, there are so many other factors. For instance, Mian Nawaz Sharif has to express the people that he remained out of country for 4 years. He was able to go to Jeddah for performance of Umrah. He was able to go to Dubai to meet Asif Ali Zardari and other political sort of activities, but he was not able to come back to Pakistan. There are all common people.
He's a politician. He knows
common people
the time,
do not believe in
the
sort of what they are being fed by the leaders, or the common voters are not only those who are blind followers of political parties.
There's a very real phenomena. The other leadership of the PMLN stayed back. The other leadership of the PMLN continued its jalsas. The other leadership of the PMLN continued to, answer the allegations.
There is a comparison, because I have earlier said that there are not only one, sort of state or the watertight kind of thing that the voters can be attracted. There are so many.
There are so many factors.
Asif Zardari was in jail when he was, the cases were made against him. PTI chairman is in jail. He is not making any sort of, rapprochement and any sort of agreement to leave the country. The people are also giving some weightage to this as well.
If we accept this argument that Abbasi Sahab has just given, that he left the country because of his...
For twice.
See, when he left the country the first time, he came back to be more popular. Why? Because of his performance, like I said it before. It's very... Nawaz's politics is not based on sentiment. He's not charging the crowds on sentiment. His politics is based on his performance, his past record.
It's a relative. For you, it's a performance. For me, there are so many other factors as well.
But also the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif Sahib enjoys an immense amount of appeal in the masses. There is no denying that. That's why it was integral that he comes back for this.
As far as your question was concerned,
another burden. I'm sorry, Janasa, one sentence. Another baggage which Nawaz Sharif is carrying, because after just returning to Pakistan, there was a talk of the town that he has made Sadigalogi. He has made sort of an agreement, and he is being supported to come into power. The way the judiciary treated him, he was the biometric system was taken to the plane.
I think the PMLN has answered these allegations, and they continue to answer this every time. That I think
everybody is giving answers to the allegations which are being leveled against them. But there is a common perception among the people that PMLN is being supported by the establishment to come into power.
Who threw PTI to May 9? Who threw? They themselves.
I think in the last jalsa that the PMLN had, one of the things that Mariam Nawaz said when she spoke to the people was that Nawaz Sharif didn't ask the former Prime Minister
that's
Imran Khan
That's the
No, it was Imran Khan himself or
to
PTI
work
himself.
against state institutions. It was not he who
Absolutely,
asked him to,
absolutely.
damage himself and his party. It was not him who asked him to conduct intra-party
So
elections in
those-
this manner.
What he has done, he has faced the
those-
music.
those-
Now he
those-
has
So
played the bar.
there are constant answers to that kind of rhetoric being given.
Going
by
back to where we started, we were discussing charisma of the young leadership.
Yes, okay.
After Nawaz Sharif coming back into the political arena, I personally feel that Shahbaz Sharif, Maryam Nawaz and Hamza Shahbaz, they're going to go into the shadow.
Maryam Nawaz is very dynamic.
Yes,
in
I don't
Punjab.
think that she's going into the
Yes,
shadow.
no,
actually.
yes, she's very dynamic.
As far as decisions are concerned, Nawaz Sharif is going to be in the
She is leading
front
the
seat.
public jalsa.
Whereas
I think Mia
as far
Saab
as
himself, the
party-
former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif Saab himself,
No, I
is
was just-
perhaps has only done one jalsa, whereas she continues to be
She's
very
living-
active.
If you allow me, I was
Living-
Age
confused.
factor,
I was
health
gonna
factor.
Yeah,
So if
Ji, I'll
just
let
one
you-
sentence.
I was
Also,
gonna
some,
I'm going to let
some
you-
of the threats are are also
Yes.
being in the conversation that the PMLN leadership, some other leadership, they have also been given some threats.
Yes.
Perhaps that's why Mia Saab is not leading the.
We don't know,
public
but
jalsas.
When I was the statement I gave was in context to People's Party, whereas in People's Party there's a clear divide between Bilawal and Zardari. This was the point I was trying to make, that within PMLN, when it comes to Nawaz Sharif, everyone is on the same page.
But you think it's targeting the voter
Oh,
that was perhaps
definitely. The
disillusioned with the earlier?
The leadership, the second tier leadership that is supposed to mobilize the voters, is definitely affecting that.
Fair
Yes,
enough.
but-
Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for being with us today. Abid Abbasi Saab, thank you for joining us. Tanya Al-Sheikh, thank you for being with us. Naveed Aman Saab, thank you for joining us today. Overall, of course, as far as the politics at this time is concerned, certainly we don't see that kind of momentum that perhaps earlier elections have shown during the same timeline. But there's certainly things seem to be getting warmer. They seem to be getting heated up between the political opponents. But as far as the PMLN is concerned, they seem to be holding back from the kind of criticism that is being levelled by Bilawal Bhutto Zardari against the PMLN leadership particularly. Of course, as things get closer to the election day, a clearer picture will emerge, but it seems to be the most popular party as far as overall, there seems to be little doubt there at this time as far as the PMLN is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us today on Press.